Yes, and welcome back. This is the Sports Check, and of course, on to our second segment. We have the rollball team. Remember, they won the World Cup. Both the men and the women team won the World Cup in May, and that was in India. The men winning it for the first time, while the ladies were bringing the title back home for the third time. I beg your pardon. And on set, I have Atenya Moses, who is their men's captain, right, as well as Angela Kithinji and coach Jared Tobias. Remember, Angela and Atenya Moses were in the national team that did win the titles in India. They also crowned the most expensive players, not expensive players, but the most valuable players at that tournament. The outstanding performances, of course, brought them those particular titles. And Jared Tobias is now an international instructor with the Rollball International Federation, but also began here with the local the people who really did see the game growing from the roots up to where it is right now, winning World Cup international titles. Karibuni sana, right? And coach, to Kianza labda, we can see just how the game has really continued to grow in the country. You know, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, when we were covering Shine Spotlight on the sport when it was just coming up, it was nobody knew that we will be the world champions, but definitely everybody dreams.
Yeah, thank you, Bernard, because also I can give you a thumb up because you are the first person, all the first people to come and highlight the rollball when you were starting it up back in 2011. And I can say you have made it a very good way and progress so far, because from 2011 and for participation from those World Cup, the men team have done it so far the way we wanted it, because we wanted them to be a world champion. And for the ladies, as you said it, they have captured it for the third time. Yeah.
And Atenya, yes, how has it been? You know, you belong to the pioneer team. You're the people who really picked it up when nobody knew what it was. People are rolling on skates and using a basketball court, and and scoring goals. But now here you are. How would you talk about the sport, how it's really grown in your eye?
First of all, just as coach has said, we really thank you, Bernard, and the KBC crew. You've seen us throughout the journey. Right now, I've played it 10 years. And since the beginning, as you have watched us grow, and we thank God for this far. It had its challenges, from equipments whereby people didn't recognize the sport. Even if you could find and explain about the sport, at that moment people did not know much about rollball. But throughout the challenges that you have had as a team, and we really had this thing of bringing the cup back home as a men's team. And you can see guys have been training ever since, despite no allowances, no fundings as individuals, as per se. People took the sport and owned it. They played it with passion, and they played it with the respect of representing the nation. So players have done their part, coaches have done their part, the federation has done their part, and the media too, you guys have done your part in exposing the game. So with the exposure, people see the game, and when you bring it out, at least people have the rough idea of what the game is. And throughout the journey, despite the challenges that you've had of maybe exposure and fundings, we've done our best as players. From various teams, you have seen the growth of various teams. At that time, we had like 2 teams. But right now, there are more than 20 teams overall in Kenya, which is a great thing, and which has helped in the growth, physically, psychologically, of players too, because at least there are different challenges all around. Yes.
Yes. And Angela, when the ladies won the title in May in India, right? The third title, was it the best? Was it the sweetest title that Kenya, the ladies, have ever won? Because they had won it once, they had won it twice, but the third one, how did it feel?
It was a good feeling. Actually, when we won the 6th Rollball World Cup, we were defending our title. We had won it in the 5th in the 5th World Cup as well. So we were the defending champions. So it was quite a tough journey, traveling all the way to India, getting over there late. Countries have already started playing, and winning the championship really was quite a very, very impressive thing, because it was the toughest journey we have ever traveled before. Yeah.
How tough?
We traveled once the opening ceremony was already done and the matches had already started. The opening ceremony was done once we are here in Kenya. We didn't have a ticket, we didn't have a visa or anything. So on travel, we aimed to stay for almost like a whole day. Let's say on transit it was like almost 2 days. And on arrival, we played without any rest. We even had not taken any shower. But once we arrived, immediately we started playing. And we had actually 3 matches, and we won the first group matches. Yeah.
And actually the ladies won it without losing a game, right?
Yeah.
And now when you're forced to catch up with the rest, what was going in the mind? What were you playing for?
Usually we have always been having a slogan where if we have traveled out of our country and we are going in another country, we have a slogan where we usually say we have gone to work. And any match that is ahead of us, it's a job for us. So we are not losing any match. Yeah.
Coach, looking at how the sport has grown, Atenya says that there are now over 20 clubs, right? Technically labda kumeongezeka idadi ya makocha ambao ni nini hasa kimekuwa chanzo cha huo mchezo kukua?
For sure, especially to make the game grow is whereby, first of all, for the players. Because if we used to find that most of the players used to just skate for nothing. But when we come to with the idea to go and collect them and show them the way the game we play roll ball, to just to give them ideas and to motivate them to come and play the game. That is one thing make the game to grow, because we find that now the game is played across the Kenya, up to Kisii, Chuka. But most we find that is in university. Because first of all, we went to university to make it grow, because find that universities that they have the one have facilities most. Find the field, because find that getting the roll ball pitch is hard. We're going to Kasarani and get a chance there is hard. Find that maybe you want to play on Saturday, but you had to put another event there. Maybe they have meetings, so they are going to use that facility. So getting to play there is hard. But to have made it to game to grow so far and so quickly, because we went to universities and find that in university you can find players at their time and also pitches where they can skate, and also find that to get equipment for them is not so hard. Somebody can just take the money or just kujifinya at least.
Yeah, naweze kununua equipment.
Yeah. So that's fine, that may make the game to grow. Yeah.
And maybe and also that's in university, that's where you find the right age to get introduced to the sport.
To get to the sport, because most of them, they are young guys and energetic and also capable to do that skating. And also to find that to get out of the estate, to find people to play roll ball is hard, because you find that to get equipment it's not easy for them. But in university you find it good. And also when you get to the estate or mtaani, you find it's hard because you no place to play. You find that a parking place is too small. Maybe you find that they have already parked their car there, so they can't get a place where to play the game. Yeah.
Atenya, when the men won it, you were named, an MVP, right? Means that your role, just like a role of any other player in the team, was outstanding. Was this the same feeling, that's the reward that you got?
At the moment I didn't think about it, because we were really celebrating the victory of the nation as a whole. And the MVP, I really dedicate it to the team, because without the team I could not get the MVP. They gave me the psych, they gave me the motivation. And right from the start, my cousin Philip Akatu trained me rollball. And the club, right from the club, because from the club there are roles that they gave me from GA Rollball Club. Then it went to the international level, whereby the team that we had cooperated with me when we were playing. Because if they didn't cooperate with me, then we could not perform. And through that performance, maybe that's when they saw something good in me. And it was a great feeling that up to right now, because I missed the previous World Cup, but when this was my fourth appearance, and getting that MVP at the fourth appearance, it's something just to give God the glory, because it's not an easy thing. Many have tried, over the years it has been one person, that is Aditya from India, who has been receiving that over the years, and this is the first time we are breaking that chain. And it's really great, because back here, when I came back, I've had a lot of children who are looking up to me. Because I'm hearing when a child is out there, maybe skating or playing rollball, they say, I want to be like Atenya. I want to be like Atenya. That's one thing that has really motivated me. I'm seeing it more than just me. It's something that is there for the future generations to come.
And I remember when I watched your final game against India, the host, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it requires players to be in some high level mentally to beat a team that's getting like humongous home support, right? And at some point it was neck to neck. I remember it was either by different, you guys were leading, but then they really came from behind, and reduced the gap to like 2 goals, you know, when it was 4-2. But again, what was the moment that really defined the game? And
the moment that really defined the game, I have a friend from one of the ladies club in Kenya. She's called Faith Nzisa. She plays for Hornets. There was a time I was talking to her and she told me, she's a captain of a club. So she told me, you know, when you have pressure as the leader and your players have pressure, then the team is in a big confusion. So when I was back in India, I remembered her words. And I said, if there is tension in my teammates and I too as a leader, I have that tension and express it to them, then it will bring chaos. So at the finals, that was the most calm time for me. If you could see, I thank God, I had the most peace of mind at that time. So I really encouraged my players. I told them, we have this thing, because I saw the way Indians were playing and the level at which our teammates were playing, it was much advanced from the word go. So I told them we came for this trophy and we're going to win it. And the good thing, they took it in mind and they actioned on it. And from those words of encouragement, all of a sudden we just started getting the scores. And I told them, they don't be intimidated by the home crowd. I told them, take the energy and use it as fuel. Take it as if they are celebrating you guys. Take it as just convert it and take the energy and use it to propel you forward. And I like the team. The energy just came in and we started scoring and we won the game. And we contained them. We told them we want to create a gap that whatever they did, they could not cover the gap. Yes.
Angela, who did you dedicate the MVP award to, and how has really rollball helped you to become, you know, a better player and maybe in general a better person?
First, I'll dedicate it to my home club as well. That's GOA Rollball Church. It has really supported us during the national leagues and to ensure that we participate in the national league every time. Secondly, my teammates as well. This is a team sport game where we can't be able to brag around and say it's all about me, it's all about the team, because they have been able to learn how I play. I've been able to learn also how they play. So it's a teamwork effort, not my own effort. And then thirdly, to the coaches as well, they have been able at least to dedicate too much energy to training us in every sessions that we've been doing. Before the World Cup, they trained us very well and prepared well as well in advance. So it's a all group thing. Yeah.
And has it been always rollerball for you, or there's another sport that you are in love with before picking up the skates?
All right, before I just used to roll on skates. I was actually doing skating for fun. I never used to participate in any other sport with skates. So after campus, that's when I joined rollerball. Yeah.
Yes. Coach, maybe we can talk about what has been key to Kenya's performances. Kenya doing well globally. What has made Kenyan players stand out, become contenders and champions?
First of all, is teamwork. First of all, been having a good teamwork, and then love to one another, and then dedication. They've been dedicating themselves wherever. If there's no any support from the federation, and there is no support from the government, they just keep on pushing on, giving them all their best, coming through the practice all the time. And then you find that wherever you are going, having an assignment, maybe like this for the World Cup, they usually get their time. They dedicate maybe one day is for them for the training. So they usually push on that. If it is on Saturday or it's on Monday, you find them, they are on the pitch there. Even if there is no a coach or a trainer, but for them by themselves, they just train. So that is the major thing. And also the dedication. Because wherever they are pushing, like find that when they were going for this trophy, at the last minute is whereby the government just chip in and support them. Because you find that they entered that game after 2 days. Already the game have already started. And even I was called, because for me, coming, I didn't manage to participate, but I was called by the International Rollerball Federation asking if they can allow the Kenya team to play because they were already late. Even their pool already, there were some other, about 3 games I've already played. So I found that dedication and also having that teamwork is the major thing that pushes them on whether to come to performance. Yeah.
And technically, what would you say? Are Kenyan players at an advantage?
Yeah, because when we started rollerball, I can say I was the first coach to start rollerball in Kenya. And the way Indian were playing, we come to change the tactics and skills. And also that where we implemented to the players, because we are seeing that maybe Angela, you have got a technique of shooting, maybe Atenya have got also technique of passes. So those find that we implemented to each and every player. So wherever they go out there, you find that it's a challenge for other team to cope on with the Kenyan team, because the skill and tactics they were using is different. They cannot get such a level with them. Yeah.
Yes. And Atenya, looking at now the men's team, I'll say that now people who've been the pioneer team, like you are, they are easily all giving way to the new members now. How has that transition, the incoming of the young bloods and the players who've been there, how has it really been key to the team?
Because most of the young players, they took skills and knowledge from those who are pioneers. Even before we went for World Cup, you could get someone like Musa Joffrey could come, and other pioneers could come and talk to the players and show them something that they have learned over the years. And there is that integration even throughout the National League. Like you find our club, we have the pioneers and you have the youngsters. So there is that integration right from the club level. And throughout the years, we have seen the growth of rollerball. Right now, like yesterday, we were having the league matches, and a friend of mine had taken a National League break. He came yesterday and he was like, hey, there are very many faces. And that's how you can see the growth of the National League, the growth of rollerball throughout Kenya. And through that, you find that the upcoming stars are really dedicated in the game, which gives a big psych and morale to those who are pioneers, and even the pioneers are chipping in. You find that whenever maybe players don't have maybe fare to come to the game, you find that the pioneers chip in to help, or if there are league tournaments, pioneers would really fund those tournaments for the upcoming players to have the chance to participate in the tournament, which is a great thing. And I love that about the pioneers of the game. They're really supporting, not that some of them have stopped playing, but even though they've stopped playing, but they're seeing the growth of the sport coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Angela, has it been the same case for the ladies' side?
Yeah, actually, the youngsters, most of the time, you find they are well mentored by the pioneers as well, because times responsibilities do come and you doesn't have enough time to attend the matches or maybe continue playing the league. So we also like the team, at least we have a coming up generation where once maybe the pioneers retire and you're not able to play, there is that continuity of a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Coach, you know, challenges of new sports, you know, is one of them is earning recognition. You know, even when we talk about the team struggling to get visas or the air tickets from the government to go for international assignments, maybe it's all about, do you have a name out there? But do you think winning the World Cup has earned the team the respect and the recognition?
No, because a team like this one, which have won 2 trophies of the World Cup, need to be given a big recognition. Like I can say, you find that there was a team which came out from, I don't know, beach games in Morocco.
Yes.
But they were even taken to the president and they were given a recognition. But find that roll ball, we have got already 3 World Cup trophies. And if I can say, in this country, there's any sport event which have won a world trophy? I think there's no a world trophy. But roll ball has already won 3 World Cup trophy.
Yeah.
World Cup.
Yeah. So what do you think? How the journey should be then? Because now you are the founders, right?
Yeah.
And up to date, if they still struggle, then what does it mean?
First of all, the recognition, you find that I can come back to check on the federation, because the federation, there's something they are not doing properly. Yeah. Maybe I was one of the federation, but I just check on and get out because I was appointed by the
international
IFBF.
boards, yes.
Yeah. But now I can back and tell them there's something they haven't done properly, because find that we haven't done our election since 2013. Yeah,
that's 10 years, right?
That is 10 years. And also we need to have other branches which support the federation, because going to the World Cup, winning the trophy, and then coming back and put it there without taking it out there to show the CS of sports, this and this people have already done, because he gave out the money, supported the team to go to the World Cup.
Yes.
Then, what coming back, did we take it to him and show him that we need to this to do and this, so that we can go to be given a recognition, even acknowledgement from the top government official there. So, because we have gone a very long way, but we need to do something.
There's much that should be done.
Because I can tell you, like you see in the world, our league, our national league, is the second strongest league in the world. Because the first strong league is from India, and then ours, with the around 20 teams playing, and you find that the competition, you can't say that this team is the one going to win this trophy this time. No. Until the end, we find that the one who was leading the trophy, leading the league, he has been topped out by the team which was 3rd place or 4th place. Then, so I can see the federation need to check on for the corporates, associates, so to chip in and then to push on. Because most of the roll ball players, they're graduates. Like the rugby, whereby you need to take it to another level.
Yeah, it's played in universities.
Yeah. So I can pinpoint the federation first.
Yeah.
We need to go back to the table and see where, since we started this game, what can we do? Because we cannot leave it to one person to run the federation or two people to run the federation. Federation need a bulk of people. Yeah, from the members, and then we have associate where we can have maybe Safaricom to come in, maybe KBC also can be there to help us to highlight
media partners.
Yeah, media partners. Yes. Also, you can have Crown Paint, so on, to chip in, and so that because. If we can now have a league match and you have a crowd, because most of the associates need to see that crowd coming in to support.
The excitement being there.
And then the other thing we get that other sports do have grounds, but rollball don't have ground. We need to have our own ground whereby the sports stadium management or the government can create, because federation cannot create the ground. Facility needed to be created by the sports stadium management who run the sports, so that we can have our grounds. We don't use these university grounds. Yeah, that will help us also, because we'll have a free space whereby people come on. Maybe they can we'll be paying the gate charges to come in and watch the game.
Atenya, coach is talking about how competitive the league has been, and we can say that this where the players get a chance to showcase themselves and be picked, and get into the national team. Looking at maybe when the sport began, it was all about Goa, but I understand that's not the case. So what has really changed? What do you think has come on board to upstage Goa, to give Goa competition? Because there are more than 10 clubs in, competing in either side, men or women.
One thing I know that has really motivated teams is the great performance of those who go out and represent the nation. Because anytime the national team goes out, they come back with a medal. That's one thing. So each and every skater who is there, even if they're not playing rollball, they know there is rollball. They want to, when somebody wins, everyone wants to associate with the winners. So you get, through the National League, the growth of various teams, you find that it motivates people to represent the nation, because it feels good to represent the nation in either levels. Because you have seen how marathoners, rugby players, volleyball players, each and every time they represent the nation, they bring out the good. And rollball has been a good example of that. The greatness, the growth, everyone wants to associate or be the person who brings the title back home. So that alone has really motivated lots of players back at home. Because right now, if you come and watch rollball matches, you won't believe what's happening there. Teams have really leveled up. Guys are doing their researches. Guys are helping other teams grow, and there is share of knowledge. There is share of experience, which is helping players to really grow. And guys are looking forward to maybe sponsorship that will come later, that will help in the growth of the team, whereby people like GOA is one of the clubs that sponsor players and give them allowance. So you see at that level whereby we have more clubs that people are given allowance just to play the game. It really motivates the teams. And first of all, the victory. The victory is sweet. Yes, that's really motivates
and most of it's on a national level, right? Angela, maybe we can talk about again the role of Goa, right? I remember 5 or 6 years ago, they could even sponsor the national team. What role do you think they've played so far?
Honestly, I'll first appreciate the church. It's the very first church that has ever sponsored a national team. Whenever the government has not been coming through, maybe there is challenges with the finances, GOA Roadball Club that is under GOA Church, they usually give out their finances, more than 300,000, 400,000. There's a time actually we missed our flight, in the year 2017 when we were going to attend our third Rollball World Cup. So the Ministry of Sports had given us finances, but unfortunately we were late. By the time we were receiving the visa, the whole process, we were late to catch up our flight. So this church gave us, they took care of the penalty that was charged by the airline, and we had to fly the next day. So it's a church that has been helpful in the growth of Rollball also. After we traveled from India for the 6th Rollball World Cup, we came and they gave each and every player an appreciation gift before even the ministry had given us our allowances. So I'll give a vote of thanks to the church. It has been active and supporting a lot of things apart from that also. In the international level, the National League also, like, it doesn't choose or discriminate, this is our players, this is from other clubs. It usually treats us all the same. Yeah.
Yes, and Coach Onyango, now with your role at the international level, how beneficial is it to growth of the game back here?
Right now, because we were having another clinic whereby we started a pro league, which is going to roll on September. So far, the international is going to help because we are now looking forward to CAP to have some players from Kenya to go and play in that league, which is going to start on September. It's about 8 teams, and I think Kenya is the one going to have the bulk of players who are going to participate there, because we find that good players are from Kenya. And our performance, we find that we have already participated in all World Cup. Like me, it's only this one I didn't participate, but all the other one have been participating in. So we are going to see, first of all, because we're going to for men only. The lady is going to start maybe next year, but this one is going to start for men, and then they are going to get that profit by being called up to join those clubs in India. Yeah, so that we find that they're going to be paid a good money. Yeah.
Well, Atenya, as a player, how does the future of the sport, presented to you? What can you say about you getting into coaching after a decade in the sport? Because normally any sport, it's 10 years. Maybe Robo could be different.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that trajectory. Looking forward, I'm really looking at being like one of the corporates that come in place to boost or be sponsors of the league or being a sponsor of the club, which I'm looking forward with other members who have been playing the national league from different clubs, because age too it's not stagnant. Year in, year out, we grow. Some retire, some continue coaching, some continue training. And we have been coming up with initiative as players, some of the players who we were, some of the pioneers, we are coming together and discussing ways forward to look to grow the sport, to be sponsors of the sport, to look for measures on ways we can attract more investors into the sport, such that by the time we just sit where we are not in a position to play anymore, there is something that at the end of the day somebody goes home with something in the pocket, so that you're not there complaining, this sport, I played this sport for these years and there is nothing I can show out of it. So as players who have been playing the sport, we are looking for ways and measures whereby players at the end of the day, they'll be getting something in their pocket. You don't just go and play because you're loving it. They say God has given you a talent, but this talent is not just, this talent should in one way or another feed you. So we are looking in ways, this game, roll ball, at the end of the day you will have something to show off, or you can say, this TV, I bought it with roll ball. Not going international, but playing for the National League. the way players are paid to play football, to play, so that I don't have that bargain of saying I'm not coming to play roll ball because I'm going to hustle. We want to put roll ball in a level whereby, as a player, you feel comfortable coming to play roll ball and not have to worry about your
next meal.
Next meal, or your, you know, one thing with roll ball, it's a family thing. It's like it unites people. Through, you know, you want to, out of the busy schedule of the week, you want to come and play roll ball, interact with people, and maybe release the baggage that you had throughout the week. So we are coming together and looking for making measures of helping and growing the team. And we invite all other corporates or any other person. You don't have to be a big corporate to come and support a team. You can provide water, you can provide jerseys. As in, it's not that big burden. It doesn't require a big budget to support a team. You can support one team, you can support two teams, and it will be really beneficial. Don't just look right now, we are looking at the future. So as players, even we are training those who are playing right now, that we need, despite you just playing, look at the another level. I like the way players are doing right now. You find that those who have the experience of playing World Cup, they will coach the upcoming teams. They will go watch their game, tell them, do this, and that means growth. So we are looking as players to expand the game to be more than just a game, to be somewhere one can look up to and really enjoying the game. And one thing I like about the players whom we have spread out players, you find that with the new CBC, we have skating in schools. So we have some of the players training young kids roll ball within those institutions. So that really gives us the hope for a future whereby many years after this, when I'll be sitting down and relaxing and watching Kenya team going to represent, I won't have that anxiety that the cup won't be retained in Kenya. So I big up those guys who are spreading roll ball throughout the schools.
Yes, and Angela, as we finally end this particular interview, what will be your view of what the sport holds for you and generally for the nation, for the country?
So in future, we are hoping the sport will grow in a way that at least we'll have many teams coming from different parts of the country. There's some counties that rollball has not yet grown in. We doesn't have teams, you know. In schools also, we'll like, at least in future, we have rollball registered in our curriculum activities in primary level and secondary as well. This will help us, people, to get to know the sport, not like in 2 years' time, like now, at times, people do ask what's rollball. Everyone, when you try to explain to someone what's rollball, they doesn't have a picture. But maybe in 2 years' time, we're hoping that it's a sport where at least everyone, if you have to hear of rollball, you have an idea of what exactly it is.
Coach, 2 seconds. What this future holds for the sport? And now, after the World Cup glory, where do we move to? Is there still pressure?
Yes. There's no still pressure, because so far as my colleagues here at Atenya, we are looking on for the youth. We have started already for the youngster to grow the game so that we are going to have a future, good future. And we are looking forward that wherever you're going to enter into Olympic, we are going to be sure that wherever you go to Olympic, you are going to have the medal. Yes,
indeed. That's from Jared Tobias, the rollball coach, as well as Atenya Moses and Angela Kithinji, who are the players and been with me on Sports Checker today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Bernard Okumu, wishing you a good viewing of the remaining programs on Channel 1.